you folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play for Sid Meier's Civilization 5. We've been playing a lot of Beyond Earth lately, and I thought it'd be a good idea to come back to that classic planet we like to call home, Earth over here. Well, Earth-ish. We're going to be playing on a completely randomized map with randomized leaders. We're going to be still playing on a Immortal difficulty because this combination is going to make things particularly tricky, and we're going to have to play things by ear when we see things go. And hit start game. We'll remind people that I'm playing with the enhanced UI mod. Oh, what was I saying about things maybe being a little bit tough? We're going to be playing as Casimir, the OP of the OP Empire. Casimir, of course, has the amazing ability to get a free social policy every time you advance to a new era. So that is a lot of free social policies for nothing at all. We do have the ducal stables, or the duckle stables, as I like to say over here, which just gives us some extra production and money from various pasture types, which are pretty good. And we've got the winged hussar, which I'm not sure if we'll use much, just because I'm not a cavalry-oriented person. It's just sort of this thing that I do. This is the first game I'm going to be playing with the new fall patch. Was it called the fall patch? I don't remember what it was called. I think the fall patch, which is to say the one where you legalism is delayed, right? Piety's technically also been buffed because it's easier to get Reformation than before, but the big thing is that you can't get legalism as your, well, I was going to say your first social policy, but no, I guess first you have to, you take the opener and then you grab that. And so it's going to be, we're going to go back to that sort of more classic way of playing where you build a monument first. Which I used to do all the time, and then I sort of stopped doing while I was relying back on the heavy tradition thing. Some people still thought that it might have been stronger to start monument first, but we're obviously going to go right back to that. I'm going to do a quick save just to make sure that nothing wonky happens over here. Boop. No, I don't want to go back to the main menu. And, all right, let's take a look. We've got a bunch of incense, which is okay. They're not my favorite luxury resources. I mean, you end up with just more money, and I mean, money is okay, but it's nice to get salt or something like that. Gems, on the other hand, is quite a bit more money, and when you build a mine on here, you get bonus production as well, which is why I like that as opposed to a plantation-based luxury resource, because at least it turns into a pretty big production square. We've got cattle, we've got deer. Now, the deer is on a tundra tile, which makes it not necessarily great, although with a granary all of a sudden it becomes a pretty good food tile. And we've got some wheat over here. So overall, because we're rocking a lot of plains as opposed to grassland, it's not going to be a massive food city, but I'm not going to complain. Also, there's going to be, oh, this is more plains underneath the forest and tundra underneath the forest. Really? I'm going to go ahead and move my Polish warrior north one step just to see. All right, what are the advantages of, say, moving north and settling here instead? Well, we get more desert tiles, which is not really a perk unless we really want to build the, whatchamacallit. Oh my god, it's been so long since I've played it. The Petra. I was going to say, you know, the thing that makes desert tiles not be complete poop. There's that. Now, I still think that, you know, building the Petra just makes a desert tile not be garbage. It doesn't make the desert tile be awesome. However, it does make desert hills be absolutely stunningly amazing. And we would have 3 desert hills in range. Right now, we have just the one. Also, moving north would give us access to an additional incense. Now, it's possible there's more useful stuff down here, but honestly, the fact that there's so much tundra makes me feel that even if there's another resource hidden in the fog over here, it's probably going to be on more tundra and maybe not a square we necessarily want to work. This is my capital. We'll eventually reach it there and be able to hook it up regardless. I really think that moving one tile to the north would be quite exceptional. There's also something to be said about the possibility of moving like way off to be adjacent to a mountain. But I don't think I want to do that because two things. One, it would require us to lose a whole turn of our city. I'm not a big fan of doing that, especially on standard speed. It's not so bad on epic. And the other thing is we would lose the river trade bonus. So I'm going to go ahead and move here. I don't see any reason why not. I'm sure there's going to be someone in the comments letting me know why I should have done otherwise. I will start on a monument right away. I'm going to go monument scout. There's also something to be said about going scout monument. But I don't know. I think, no, you know what? We do want the scouting first. Hang on. We're going to want to go scout monument like that. Choose research. Well, going pottery first is always nice because you do unlock the shrine. In our case, the granary will be particularly nice. We have both the wheat and the deer. So that's going to be a huge buff for us. We'll probably grab animal husbandry quite quickly after that to be able to hook up the cattle, because cows are a great production tile. Speaking of production tiles, I forgot to adjust my my workers. By default, they did work the cows, which is perfect. That's what I want. I'm going to tell them, I'm going to use the trick where you say production focus and then manually lock this tile. What am I doing wrong here? I've got citizen management. Okay, that was weird. All right. We're fine here. I just realized I haven't actually updated my UI mod / DLC thing for the new patch. I'm hoping it doesn't glitch out or anything weird like that. So the reason we do this is so that when your city grows, it processes the food first, and then it processes the hammers. So if it'll process the food first, the city will grow, and then the new citizen will automatically be assigned to a high hammer tile, and then it'll work that. But of course, we actually want to work the high food tiles. So we're going to move our warrior onto there, get advanced weapons right away. That's very interesting, and find another goodie hut. So we are playing on a random. Well, I forgot that it actually tells you what the map is. Apparently, we're playing on Pangea. Okay. As I say, we're playing on a random map type, and we don't know what's what, and I actually am really upset that I went and spoiled myself. So far, it seems like a pretty arid landscape, though, so I don't know if some of those modifiers can get rerolled. We've got some floodplains over here, which are pretty decent tiles. Sheeps, which we can't currently reach from our current city. 60 gold, and another goodie hut. Okay, we've got a dominance on incense over here, which has certain implications for religion. There is one of the religious buildings. I can't remember which one. Monastery? Something gives you a bonus when you've got incense, doesn't it? I might be wrong. Incense and wine? We'll see how it goes. But it seems pretty tempting that we should go and do that. I'm actually going to move up this tile first, and then there, because it'll end my turn. +1 population. Okay, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that we got a pretty incredible start over here. I forgot to adjust my yields. Actually, we really don't have a lot of food going around, do we? If I do this, I'm at least technically growing, but barely. You know what? I'm going to use that gold that we got to go ahead and pop the wheat tile right away, especially since the borders weren't going to grow in that direction automatically, because we really need a little bit more food production. Even with this, we're going to grow quite slowly, so it's nice that we got the +1 production. Our food situation will be great once we start improving tiles, but until then, it's a bit rough, just because of the somewhat lack of grassland. Okay. Also sucks that the wheat's not on a river, so that we don't get our farm's not going to be quite as productive until we get to, I don't know, whatever it is, chemistry, fertilizer, which gives our farms +1 food even when they have no access to fresh water. Yeah. Oh, there's a border over there. We'll go ahead and meet the city-state. Okay, someone's already met the city-state, which should not be a surprise. Again, this is a Pangea map, and that building is quite far away from our city. Let's start off by going, say, southwest and then towards the east, since our warrior is going towards the west here, and see what we can see. Oh, coast. Hello, Gajamada. Nice to meet you. So, the coast is kind of interesting. If I had moved towards the south, you know what? I'm quite happy with where our city is. Because it's a Pangea, being on the coast is somewhat less important. Oh, Barbarian Encampment. We can go ahead and pop that right away, but hopefully we can get a quest, maybe. And also, if I'd moved, like, a little to the south, then I would have been maybe, like, 1 tile off of the coast, which is a miserable place to be, because you've got all these water tiles you can't really improve with lighthouses and whatnot. And so I prefer being fully inland like this. And I think it's going to be fine. We're actually going to be able to reach this extra incense, as is. And the stone. Not that that's a high-quality tile, but it's actually not going to be too bad. 1 food, 2 hammers, I think it'll end up being, and it's not terrible. All right, next technology. Well, we don't have... Okay, we don't have our worker yet. And our worker will have things to improve, because basically it'll be able to improve the wheat. I think what we're going to do is grab archery quite quickly, so that we'll have the option of building an archer relatively fast, then go back to animal husbandry, and then we'll probably unlock writing at that point. It is important to note, though, that this will not enable any luxury resource yet. We'll also need calendar. I think we're going to be okay. Oh, we could also grab the mining, actually, which is cheaper than calendar. Okay, archery into animal husbandry, into writing, into mining. That way we can hook up the gems. And then probably we'll pick up the calendar at that point. Yeah, that'll be okay. So I'm going to try to ignore this until I get a quest. I'll just... Hello! And Lake Victoria. Okay, well, we know where we want to settle towards. In fact, I think I'm going to send my scout to the west just to help uncover all that territory. Yeah, I mean, there might be more goody huts and everything hiding over there, but I think it's going to be a priority for us to know the entire area around Lake Victoria and really hope that there's not an AI that's right down there. We've got salt over here, probably the single best luxury resource or resource period in the game. And we get calendar for free. Wait. Oh, yeah, all right. I was misreading that second pop-up. Let's review. We have the possibility of Lake Victoria over here. We just got a technology for free. We got a population for free, which honestly is more important early on. Getting the population first is better than getting the technology first. If you're going to get both, for example. Because it just boosts your production so much. And we're playing as Casimir. God, I should have rolled deity. Maybe it would have been my first chance to get a solo deity win. I haven't done a video for it yet. I've been meaning to go up to deity, but because we haven't played any Civ in a while, it seemed like a better idea to stick on Immortal for now, just to see how it goes. We'll keep going down the coast. Another goody hut over there. It looks like, I suspect that this sort of ends here. I mean, obviously the polar ice cap, actually we can actually see a little bit of ice over here and a little bit of snow over there. Clearly it ends over here, so almost certainly there's no city capital over here. There could be, but most likely it'll be nice and blocked off. So, you know what we're going to do? With this spearman, I'm actually going to move him north and check this area instead, since I do have my scout coming this way. And we get a map, which is not terrible in this case, since we are really concerned about our visibility. Looks like the continent does keep going. This might actually be an internal lake, and there is someone's capital over there. Is that color Indonesia's color? It may be. All of a sudden, there's a little bit more pressure over things. If this is an inland lake, I don't know what we'll do, but if it happens to be an ocean bay, which seems unlikely on a Pangea map, let's go here. Because if we built on the coast, we could, you know, we'll have ships or something. But if it's a lake, it hardly makes much sense. Although one bombard-enabled ship to help take this potential capital over there might be a thing. Let's go ahead and cross since it doesn't really cost us anything. Then we'll pop back up to the north. Ho, 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 ho. Warsaw still working reasonable tiles. Indeed. Let's go that way. That way. Another goody hut. Lovely. Choose our next production. It's a tough question. Getting a granary up and running really soon would really help with our growth. Not to mention building that first settler. But I'm loath to delay the shrine. I mean, religion is so good. If we can get our, pantheon of choice here, and especially the fact that we will probably grab a natural wonder, which will be working for the rest of the game, I'm really strongly tempted to start with the shrine. The problem is, well, let's see. It's 9 turns to the next growth. If we did build the granary, that would line up pretty well for us getting to size 4 and then building a settler. The settler would build that much faster because of the extra food we would have. Gosh darn it. Alright, we're going to go granary, just because food is a little tight in the capital, and I'm pretty bad about making my capital big enough. On the other hand, if we're going to have Lake Victoria, we're going to have another city that is pretty humongous. So, obviously here we're going to pop... Oh, we've got no movement there. This unit needs orders. We're actually going to have to pull this back to escort things. And bison! Ah, very exciting. So, bison and cocoa should make an appearance in this game. They're resources from a scenario that has been added to the base game, which I think is pretty cool. Oh yeah, and there's a goody hut over there. Let's go ahead and send our spearmen over here. We're going to need to escort our dude. Free culture. We are, because of that, if I hit next turn, I'll get my social policy pop up next turn, but I can actually grab it now, which means we'll get the benefit from it a little bit sooner. Still think Tradition is a great opener, certainly nerfed a little bit from before. And actually, with the fact that Piety has been buffed and we're going to have a religion thing, we could conceivably do something like that. But as an opener, I think we go Tradition. And I think we'll probably finish Tradition before we go into Piety, before we even consider that. But I will probably consider it. Archery is done. Obviously, another really good potential escort for our unit. What is this? You want defeat invading barbarian units. That's not the same as destroying the encampment. So I'm going to hold off on that for now. I'm just going to scooch over here to see. Okay, so there is a path here, but it's going to be extremely slow. Oh, hello, Incas. That's not the Incas over here, is it? I'm assuming that's Gaja? Yeah, Jakarta. So that's Indonesia. Well, obviously they're going to be close. I already have a great general, El Cid. All right. But I think we're relatively well protected. Always a little bit worrisome to do, because it does reveal where your capital city is. And especially since I don't know where he is yet, I'm going to refuse, just on the off chance. Oh, he knows where my capital is. Hold on. Look, he can see me, so it's fine. I will accept your embassy for 30 gold over 30 turns. I don't mind at all. We got our next policy. I'm not rushing out a wonder right now, and I don't need the extra happiness boost, so I'll go ahead and grab that. Oligarchy is obviously a very weak first choice over here. It kind of sucks, but we are going to want to work our way down to landed elite and monarchy, certainly. And legalism won't hurt when we get to our things. What is it? The amphitheaters. So we'll get free amphitheaters everywhere. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Actually, more production than a monument, so it's not the end of the world. I guess we'll keep exploring over here since we're here. Really? I should be able to grab that, actually. First Pantheon founded, plus 30 increased defense. That's okay. I don't have any intention of grabbing that one for myself. I don't mind one bit. Let's go ahead and pop that. 65 gold. Okay, that's fine. Don't mind the gold. Let's go ahead and pop this goodie hut. Reveals barbarian encampments. Not terribly valuable at this juncture. I don't like the fact that we have no idea what's to our east, but I think we're going to accept that. I'm going to go ahead and cross here. And I could go here to unveil some more, but I think we might just send our guy to the north. Probably one extra scout. Oh, he's got some bison. How exciting. Let's go ahead and pop that tile. So we got good vision over here. I'm feeling pretty confident about moving a settler out. Almost certainly we're going to want to settle a city in this general area at some point. I suspect that this sea over here is going to be completely landlocked, which makes a coastal city of very questionable value. So we might not need to settle right on the coast. We might even do something crazy like settle in this spot over here, or maybe further to the west. We'll have to figure out exactly where we want to settle our Lake Victoria city. I will put out a warning that because I'm trying to pre-record some content here so that we've got daily videos coming out during the holidays, since I'm going to be away for a fair bit of it, I'm going to be keeping these videos a little bit shorter so that I can record more in the day and just keep the content regular. So my apologies for that. I'm going to try to avoid 45-minute videos, try to keep them around 20-25 minutes if possible. I'll go ahead and pop a little bit more territory over there. Wow! You know, what if I built the city right here? Not so close to Jakarta that we should get much in the way of friction. This would technically count as being adjacent to a mountain. World wonders always count as mountains, so we should be able to build, I think, observatories over here. I don't think Neuschwanstein, but I think we could build an observatory here. We could actually literally build next to the mountain, even on top of the deer if we really wanted the river bonus. Alternatively, we could build as far as over here. Get the bison, horses, cotton, marble, cattle, and still get to work Lake Victoria. We'd probably buy those tiles right away to gain access to it. We'd be on a hill, which is a bit more defensive. it's still a bit of a bottleneck with this lake here. I mean, obviously they can embark units. I'm tempted to do that. It's a bit more of an aggressive settlement, but it's not necessarily bad. I think I'm going to go ahead and start harassing this encampment, even though we don't have a mission for it yet. What I'm going to want to do is prevent a swarm of barbarians sort of getting in my way for when I start building the settler. And our Pantheon, +1 culture and +1 faith for gold and silver. Someone built that. Good. I have no need of that myself. We're going to choose a production. We're going to go ahead and queue up our settler. I'm also going to reset the tiles, and they will automatically pick the whatever ends up building the settler the fastest, which is, yeah, pretty much what I would build. If I, just out of curiosity, these are all reasonable. Oh, we have horses over here. Didn't even realize that when we got our animal husbandry. If I do that, yeah, see, the settler builds just as quick when you get a bit of extra money. So it's not always perfect. Is there any chance if I did this? No, that would be 11 turns. Ah, still 10 turns. And we get a few extra bucks. Look at that. All right. Worth doing a little bit of extra micro, but you have to change your micro setup for a settler than when you build something normal, because of course you're stagnating, and any excess food you produce does add to extra production, but in this case that works out the best. And right now we're making 5 gold per turn, so I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in this episode at this point. Hopefully everything has recorded properly. I will be very, very upset if I have to restart and lose this amazing start. Oh my god, you guys, this is sick. Now watch me fail and screw everything up and lose the game, because that's, you know, standard Quill, right? See you next time, folks. Bye-bye.